Brooke Hogan has finally broken her silence following the devastating and unexpected death of her father, wrestling legend Hulk Hogan, and what began as a quiet, deeply personal moment has since become a tidal wave of emotion rippling through the WWE universe and beyond. Fans have been moved to tears by her raw and unfiltered tribute, a heartbreaking outpouring not crafted by press teams or media handlers but delivered from her own trembling voice in the solitude of her Nashville living room. There was no polished lighting, no camera crew, no red carpet polish, just a grieving daughter, her voice cracking as she tried to express what millions could not fathom, that the immortal Hulk Hogan, the superhero of generations, the man who embodied strength, charisma, and indestructibility, was gone. For Brooke, this was not about a wrestling icon, but about the man who flipped pancakes on Sunday mornings, the man who called her Berkey long after she'd grown up, and the man who stood behind her in life's hardest moments, whether dressed in boas and sunglasses or wrapped in nothing more than a father's protective hug. Her tribute was deeply personal, filled with quiet recollections that revealed the heart behind the hero, the nights spent alone while he traveled the world, the times she longed to have him just for herself, and the years she eventually came to accept that she was sharing her father with millions who needed him too. And now, as tributes flood in from around the globe, from icons in the wrestling world to fans young and old, it is Brooke's voice that has emerged as the most poignant, the most human, and the most soul-shaking of them all. She has shown up in small vigils, unannounced and humbly dressed, comforting fans with whispered thank yous and tears shed alongside strangers who had known her father only through television screens and WrestleMania moments. She clutches old photos, watches home videos alone in the dark, and walks barefoot on the beaches her father loved, listening to the waves as though they carry echoes of his booming laughter. Her grief arrives not just in sweeping waves but in everyday moments, a silent phone, a missed morning text, a favorite chair that still holds the curve of his weight. In these ordinary absences, she finds the extraordinary pain of missing someone who was so much larger than life. She has started journaling her memories, stories never told, and has plans to release a memoir that paints a fuller picture of the man the world called Hulk but whom she knew simply as Dad. She has also taken the first steps toward building something lasting in his name, a foundation that will support young people facing mental health struggles and grief, particularly children of athletes who've lived under the shadow of fame. And even as she works through her own heartbreak, she has reached out privately to those who shared the ring with her father, not for PR or camera moments, but to thank them for being part of his journey. Her calls with Ric Flair, Vince McMahon, and others have revealed the tender, sometimes painful truths of a life spent in the spotlight, one marked not just by triumph but by trials, falls, recoveries, and relentless love. Brooke's stories, like the one where her father cheered her up during a breakup by blaring his entrance music and appearing in full costume just to make her laugh, have gone viral for their humanity, their absurdity, and their aching sweetness. She remembers his loud texts in all caps, his terrible cooking, his disco dancing, his advice shouted like promos, "What you gonna do, Brookie?" And she remembers all of it with the bittersweet joy of someone who knows what it means to love deeply and lose painfully. She carries his bandana now like armor, visits his old gym to sit in the ring and whisper promises, and finds comfort in letters from fans around the world, each one reminding her that he didn't just belong to her, but to all of them. And yet, through her, he still lives. Her social media is slowly becoming a digital shrine to the man behind the myth. Bloopers, dad jokes, motivational quotes, and unseen moments from family life that show the Hulkster is vulnerable, flawed, real. At a recent visit to a small wrestling school, she reminded trainees that her father believed in getting up no matter how many times life slammed you to the mat. Her words left the room in tears, her presence becoming a symbol of resilience that honored her father's message even in the depths of sorrow. WWE has responded with its own plans for ongoing tributes, including a special WrestleMania segment which Brooke has agreed to help curate, on the condition that it not be a spectacle but an honest portrayal of who her father really was. From the raw message found on an old cassette tape marked, "For Brookie," to the quiet nights spent rereading old fan letters labeled, "Dad's Love," Brooke Hogan has become not just a grieving daughter but the guardian of a legacy that transcends the ropes and lights of any arena. She's preserving the essence of a man who taught millions to dream big, fight harder, and believe in something bigger than themselves. She is opening the doors to who Hulk Hogan was behind the sunglasses, the tears, the fears, the laughter, the lessons, and as she builds the Hogan Legacy Foundation, she's turning her grief into purpose, her sorrow into fuel. In doing so, she has given fans the most meaningful tribute of all, the chance to see their hero not just as a larger-than-life legend, but as a father who sang badly, grilled worse, but loved with a heart as big as the arenas he once ruled. And as the chants of Hogan echo from screens, arenas, beaches, and backyards. It's clear that through Brooke's strength, her honesty, and her unshakable love, Hulk Hogan's spirit is not only surviving, it's roaring louder than ever.